In this episode, we're going to talk about a free motion capture software called Rokoko. I learned about Rokoko when I was watching a video from Corridor Crew, which is a great channel if you're into VFX. I highly recommend giving them a watch. And today I'm going to show you a test run that I did. You can decide whether it's worth giving a try in your pipeline, or especially if you're an indie, just give it a try, period. So here we go. So here I am at the main Rokoko website. You'll notice it's rokoko.com. And I find the site a little bit hard to navigate. It looks really nice, but these menu items are really big, and sometimes I forget that I'm in a menu, and I'll just kind of be looking around trying to figure out where to go. But if you make an account and you want to use the Vision portion of their website, which is the free kind of tool for indies, you have to go to Vision Rokoko. So vision.rokoko.com, and that takes you to a subdomain where you can log in and then start seeing your tools, your videos that you've made. So just a little bit of a call out, maybe that'll save you a whole minute of your life. Now you'll notice I have two videos here, one on a green screen and one with a white background. This is just my wall at home. And I found that I got better results with the white background than I did with the green background. Your results may vary, but if you find that you've made a video and you upload it and it doesn't really turn out very well, go ahead and try using a different background. Or go ahead and change clothes. It's gonna, you're asking a computer to find all your joints and then turn it into animation data. And if you're wearing clothes and it can't differentiate backgrounds and who knows what, then you might have to throw it a bone and try something a little bit different to get the results that you want. I want to take a moment to point out that while you're trying to download and re-upload these into Unreal Engine, there are a number of things that can go wrong, but I do want to say just keep at it, try different settings as you go, and for your viewing pleasure, here is a bunch of the errors I ran into in Montage style. Huh? Ugh. Wait. Where is my animation sequence? Is anything happening here? Oh, we've got head movement. Oh my god, why? Oh my. Oh, what a joke. Oh, that actually doesn't look too bad. Oh no. Okay, enough of that. So here we are at the web portal of Vision Rokoko, and I'm going to go ahead and create, and you'll see there are a few options here. This is the paid version to use dual camera for better resolution. You could use something like a webcam to capture a live feed, or you're going to do what we are going to do here, which is upload a video. So if we upload, I'm going to choose a file off screen here. And the video has loaded. Now let's go to the preview. And first things first, don't forget to do this because I found that it introduces bugs a little bit later. Make a name for this video that you're going to do. So I've already made a test 1 and 2 and 3. So this is going to be test 4. And then down here in the bottom, you can play. You can go back to the beginning. And as I scrub through, I was just doing this by myself, so I had to set up the camera and get myself set up here. So about 5.3 seconds. And we're going to crop the timeline, and this is what's going to process. So I don't need to process anything here. When it comes to the end, I don't need to process anything here. And this is important because on the free tier, you get 30 minutes of footage. And if you have a bunch of extra stuff, that's just going to eat up space. So try to be conservative. And when you've got it all cropped, go ahead and turn into animation. Now this is going to take a bit to process, and as you're watching it, you might notice that it's going to loop through your video multiple times and do other weird things such as crop your head and your feet and the rest of your arms. But that's fine. Just go ahead and sit tight, go watch a YouTube video, or sign up to get an email. Okay, here we are in the preview, and this shows us the end result. Now, if you decide this doesn't look good, you're going to have to reshoot and try something again later. You can rotate around. And if you'll notice in the video, my right arm went out of frame. And so it's not there. Rokoko doesn't know how to process that information. So when we do our playback, oh, that's a bug. Okay, start that over. And then I throw my hands up, but this arm, it just doesn't know what to do with it. So it kind of flops it there. And that's something we'll have to fix inside of the Unreal Editor or Blender or whatever animation software we choose to use. Now, another call out or something to notice, my hands were fists in a lot of that animation. But you'll notice these hands here are completely open palm. And that's something that's a limitation of Rokoko. They have some upgrade plans. I think they have special gloves you can buy that can do hand tracking, but you're gonna get just open face palms in your animations. Something to be aware of and something to realize that you're gonna have to spend time to fix outside of this program. There's no one button fix, at least not for free. But once you've decided that this is what you want, there is a download button here, but in my experience, this caused way more problems than this second method that I'm going to show you, which is to use their desktop version of the app called Rokoko Studio. So you can open it from here, and the web browser can open this. If you're into that sort of thing, I prefer to open mine the old-fashioned way, and I've actually already got it open. So I'm just going to bring it up, and here we are, test 4. It's already synced. You can check how often things have synced. If you don't see something, just check the sync time. 2 minutes ago, works. Our video's here. Now, if you'll remember, I mentioned that you need to change the name of your videos when you upload them. That's because in the past, I've had 2 untitled videos. I just forget to change the name, and it defaults to untitled, and it just doesn't know what to do. It just kind of freaks out. And I couldn't get my new video to sync. So just be aware that if you forget to change the name of something, you may not see it show up in the desktop app at all, which is kind of frustrating. You lose a few minutes of your life, but that's just how it be. So anyway, we're here in the desktop app. Let's open this up. It's going to load our scene. And we need to come up and we need to choose what animation we want to put on for this character. So I'll double click this. If I press play, we'll see that it is our animation. Now it has some tools in here to change and modify the animation a little bit if you need to do some tweaks. The Rokoko team has put out some videos on how to do that. So if you're interested, go watch those videos. That's not my preferred workflow. This is still very much an application in progress, I would say. And I think it would be much easier to just fix inside of Blender or inside of Unreal Engine. So going back to our animation, I've confirmed that this is what I want to export. I need to come up here to the export section. The file format, you're locked into using FBX, which is a very common file format for 3D models and animations. But you want to make sure that you have this override skeleton mesh checked so that you get this drop down right here. And this could be set to anything, but what we're going to need for the Unreal Engine is to choose the Unreal Engine 4 skeleton. If you don't do that, the bones won't map correctly, and you'll get some of those real wonky animations come in. And if you don't know what's going on, it's going to be real confusing and somewhat frustrating. So make sure you have this checked, choose Unreal Engine 4, and then go ahead and export the clip. And then you can open your folder just to see where it is, and then you're ready to open up Unreal Engine and import it. Okay, so here I am in the Unreal Engine. I've made a couple of folders because I've done this a couple times by now to put our animation data. And now what we want to do is we want to right click and import our FBX file. So Rokoko Studio kind of puts this in a weird place on Windows. So if you have Rokoko open, if you open that folder, then you can go ahead and grab the path and then just paste it in here. And then we named this test 4. So I'm going to open this up. So this import window is probably going to be the most important thing that you interact with when you upload animation data. So if you'll remember, when we uploaded from Rokoko Studio, we chose an Unreal Engine 4 skeletal mesh. So here in this window, we can choose what skeleton we're going to use, and we want to make sure that it is UE4 compatible. So here you'll see I've got 2 mannequin skeletons, and they would seem to be the same thing, but if you look at the path on this little pop-up that comes up, we've got game characters mannequin UE4 meshes and game characters mannequin meshes, and these are different. So I'm going to grab the one from the UE4 folder so that I can guarantee that we have compatibility. Animation length you can leave as is. The advanced tab you can generally leave as is. If you want to play around with these, if something goes terribly, terribly wrong and you need to try to figure out what's happening, you can come through and you can click through and re-import as often as you want. When I was playing around with this, it took about 15 minutes of importing, deleting, re-importing, checking different settings. It was kind of tedious, but also at the same time, it's a skill that you'll need to learn to just, if something doesn't work and you can't figure out why, just delete it and try it again with some different settings. That is probably going to be the fastest way you're going to solve problems a lot of the time if you don't know what's happening. So some other things to know, this force front x-axis, if you have it unchecked or if you have it checked, it's going to change the front axis of your animation. So if your animation is rotated in a weird way, it could be because this is checked or unchecked. Convert scene is fine. Probably want to keep everything where it is. Having zeroed out translation and rotation is the better option by far. And there we go. Yeah, and this should work fine. So go ahead and click import. Oop, and it did not work fine. Okay, so I'm gonna delete it, and I'm gonna try to re-import. Test 4. Oh, and I can't import, so I need a skeleton. But I know the UE4 skeleton is the one that I want. So let's try unchecking that. And look at that. Okay, so that is technically all we have to do. Our animation is up. We're able to map it to a character, and we're ready to go. Now, there are a few things to note here. It looks like there's a little bit of twisting on the torso that needs to be fixed. There is the hands that aren't working, or the animation data didn't get captured for that. And then there's the fact that this is a UE4 skeleton, and we're now into UE5. And UE5 meshes are a little bit different. They don't have the same bone structure, and so the animation data that we're mapping is getting put onto different bones. So if I try to use an Unreal Engine 5 mannequin, such as Manny, oh, this worked. Weird. I've previously gotten very stretchy things that don't really work out. Now, there was a little bit of weirdness in the shoulder there that I saw. As you can see, it's kind of twisting, so that'll need to be fixed a little bit. Huh, curious. well, maybe it'll just work for you then. That would be cool. However, if it's not working, or if you want to use a metahuman, you're going to have to do a retarget. And that's a whole topic in itself, which will be its own video. Okay, well that's it for this video. This was a little bit longer than I meant to spend on the topic, but hopefully it will give you a little bit of insight and help you overcome a couple of obstacles, or maybe just show you something new. Thanks for watching. Keep an eye out for future videos where we'll talk about retargeting and also using control rig to get hand motion and animation data in. And as always, I hope you go and make something cool.